Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, welcome to the first discussion of language learning acquisition class. In this meeting, you are going to learn about common terms related to second language acquisition. After watching this video learning, you are expected to be familiar with various terms of second language acquisition, such as first language, second language, formal language, and so forth. Well, dear students, let's start our discussion. Dear students, when you were still a very young child, you began acquiring at least one language. This is your first language. In obtaining your first language, you probably do not think much about it, and with very little conscious effort or awareness. For example, I don't remember why I am fluent in Japanese language because I've never learned it since I was a kid. At the same time, you may also acquire an additional language, which is called your second language. This second language perhaps happens in the natural environment, but with more conscious effort. For example, Bahasa Indonesia is my second language, which I learned from school. My teachers, my friends, and everyone at school use Bahasa Indonesia most of the time. So it was easy for me to master it. But I still need to learn how to write and how to speak properly using the standard Indonesian language. So, how is the first language acquired? And how is the second language obtained become interesting phenomena? Therefore, in order to understand more about these phenomena, we are checking more definitions on several terms. What are these terms? Some of the second language acquisition terms are second language acquisition, second language, target language, formal language, informal second language learning, linguistic competence, linguistic performance, and communicative competence or pragmatic competence. What do these terms mean? Let's discuss about it one by one. First, what is meant by second language acquisition? Second language acquisitions actually refers to two aspects. First, the study of individuals and groups who are learning a language subsequent to learning their first one as young children, and the process of learning that language. And second term, second language. Second language means the additional language, even though it may be actually be the third, fourth, or 10th to be acquired. In addition, it is also commonly called a target language. Target language refers to any language that is the aim or goal of learning. So if you study about English language, then your target language is English. Next, the scope of second language acquisition also includes formal second language learning that takes place in formal setting. And formal second language learning is learning that takes place in the classroom. And the second language learning that involves a mixture of these settings and circumstances. For example, formal learning occurs when a high school student in England takes a class in French, or when an undergraduate student in Russia takes a course in Arabic. That is called formal second language learning. What about the other terms? The other terms called informal second language learning is a learning situation that happens in naturalistic contexts. For example, informal learning happens when a child from Japan is brought to the US and picks up English in the course of playing and attending school with native English-speaking children without any specialized language instruction. Or the other example is when an adult Indonesian immigrant in Australia learned English as a result of interacting with native English speakers in working environment. Also, a combination of formal and informal second language learning takes place when a student from Indonesia takes Chinese language classes in Taipei or Beijing, while also using Chinese outside of class for social interaction and daily living experience. Alright, what about other terms? Let's discuss it again. Dear students, second language acquisition has emerged as a field of study primarily from within linguistics and psychology as a result of effort to answer the what, how, and why question. There are corresponding differences in what is emphasized by researchers who come from each of these fields. For example, linguists emphasize the characteristic of the differences and similarities in the languages that are being learned, and linguistic competence or underlying knowledge and linguistic performance, meaning actual production of learners at various stages of acquisition. So, linguistic competence is actually the system of linguistic knowledge possessed by native speakers of a language, while linguistic performance is the way a language system is used in communication. Right, next. On the other hand, sociolinguistics emphasize variability in learner linguistic performance and extend the scope of study to communicative competence or pragmatic competence. What is communicative competence here? Communicative competence is the ability to speak and understand language, while pragmatic competence is the ability to use language effectively in a contextually appropriate fashion. So in this case, pragmatic competence is a fundamental aspect of a more general communicative competence. Well, dear students, that's all about our discussion today, and I hope now you are familiar with those terms of second language acquisition. We'll see again in the next topic. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.